Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Monday evening to you all. Hope you're all okay. Hope you are all right and looking after yourselves. We're going to be talking about Morgan Gibbs White. We're going to be talking about this peculiar situation we find ourselves in, having agreed a deal days ago, medicals being booked, and radio silence really on where we are at the situation at present. We'll be talking about feelings towards this deal from sort of Spurs, more of the in the knows. We'll be talking a little bit about, potential Gibbs White having to say a few things. So we'll talk about that as well. And I'll bring just a general catch up around a few things. I think a lot of people are still right, I guess, the high of agreeing those two deals back to back of Kudus and obviously and Gibbs White, but having a deal that's potentially stalled kind of leaves us all in limbo. Even Owen, Spurs, Graham, Steampunk, Janice, how are we all? But let's jump in and let's talk about it because this is a weird old situation. So Spurs, bit of a backstory. Spurs agreed a deal of his release clause of £60 million. All came around very, very quickly, and they agreed a deal. Medicals booked. This was Thursday last week. Medicals booked for Friday last week. And Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, very concerned as to how that really picked up steam the way it did. How did they find this information out? And they consult some lawyers, and supposedly so they've consulted lawyers today. They've put in their legal issues surrounding this deal to the higher powers. But John Barkley has said that Nottingham Forest won't make it easy for Tottenham, but the Gibbs White deal is expected to get over the line eventually. I mean, unless they can categorically prove Spurs have done something wrong, this is a waste of time. This is a PR stunt to save face because they sell Ante Elanga to Newcastle, earlier this week, wasn't it? Completed, everything like that. And then all of a sudden, Spurs have agreed a deal for potentially one of their best players. And it's all in such a short space of time. And they're trying to save face with their own fans because, it looks awful that you lose two of your four attackers that play most games week in, week out. And it looks really, really awful. Now, obviously, it's great money. You're making, 115 million, basically. It's great money that you can reinvest into the squad, get loads of great quality players in. But that's not how it works. So where is the situation where it's occurred that obviously Spurs have found out his release clause? Now, don't get me wrong, they could have just punted straight away and gone, we'll give you 60 million. And Forest have gone, how the hell have they done that? Like I said, they had told City earlier on in the season how it was going to be a crazy expensive deal, and City backed out of it. Only to turn around and it's actually 60 million. And, City have spent that on players this summer a few times. So it's very interesting, the situation. I'll put my 2 cents. I do believe the deal still gets done. I don't have any concerns about it. I think this is Marinakis, who has been found out through either his poor ownership and stewardship or someone that he employs to put this release clause in. And it's been found out. And a team has gone, it's been found out, is it? We're going to buy that player. And then going, hang on, well, no, you can't do that to us. He's no, you can't bid the release clause. I'm not having it. I really do think they're trying to stall, buy time, maybe put us off. That's the other thing. If they're buying time, could it be a situation where they go, look, if we somehow can wait this out, maybe Spurs will get bored and turn their attention elsewhere. I mean, again, the release clause has been activated. They cannot reject the deal. Now, like I said, unless there is literal categorical evidence that Spurs have done something wrong here, this is all for naught. This is all for nothing. This is all to buy time and save face. We're fighting for Gibbs White to stay. We're fighting to hold on to the player. Well, is that the right thing? And it's not because I'm going to be sitting here saying you should let the player go if he wants to go. The reason I say it is because Graham Bailey has put out that Morgan Gibbs White has made it clear to Marinakis that he wants to join Tottenham. So right now you've got a situation where I don't for a second believe he would ever sort of, refuse to play for Nottingham Forest. Oh, Newcastle work on Ekatike. Fair enough. Sorry, I got distracted. I don't think for a second he'd ever reject the idea that he of playing for Forest. But I think he's also kind of going, look, I want the Spurs move. They've bid the release clause. It's, it has to be accepted. What are we doing? And Forest are probably rejecting phone calls and things like that. Oh no, so and so's out for a week on holiday. So you have to talk to him when he's back, and then he's going to hide when he's back, sort of thing. I can't get around the idea that you just can't prove it with any real substance unless it is so damning. Edith Phillip and Callum and JMP, he said, KVN, how are we all? The other thing as well is who's giving the information away. Because even if Spurs were the team that is absolutely the team that's gone digging for that information, that someone's had to have told them. Again, if there's not a paper trail, they won't be able to find out the answer. And that's the thing. If it's never down on an email, it's never down on a piece of paper, it's always your word versus theirs. And when it comes to a situation like this, you have to be able to categorically prove it. Information the agent gave Levy was under NDA. Why do we not just bid 62 and call it a day? 60 plus £1 we should have done. I wonder if Lang now wishes he just paid Eze's publicly known release clause. I don't know. It's apples and oranges. It depends what Lang really thinks, because Lang could say, not Lang, Thomas Frank could really rate Eze. But if Gibbs White is going to suit his system more, then that's where you're going to be. And the big thing around this is how Thomas Frank is going to see Morgan Gibbs White, because there was something else about him and how he views Morgan Gibbs White. Just trying to see if I can find it. No, I can't. I found it earlier and I've lost it. But yeah, if you weren't sure, they have made the legal complaint. Again, Tom Barkley said that. I think with Gibbs White, yes, he will view him as a 10, but I don't know, I've got a weird feeling that Thomas Frank, I think, have a similar sort of view on 8/10s as Ange did, where it was very much, you've got to be able to the ability to play both. I think Gibbs White can do that. Yeah, I think Maddison probably could do that. And I think, the amount of people that go, what does it mean for Maddison? What does it mean for Maddison? It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing for Maddison. What does it mean for Kulusevski? Does it mean Kulu's getting sold? It means nothing for Kulusevski. We've sadly been programmed that squad depth is not allowed at Tottenham Hotspur. We can only have 11 players and that's it. Oh, he doesn't get in the starting 11. All right, how often do Spurs have a fit starting 11? I can answer you that. Never. So it's probably good to have good options in the squad, 20 plus players, So I think he's going to be used a little bit like an 8 and 10. I feel like he's probably more centrally switched on than Kulusevski, if I'm honest. I like Kulu central, but Gibbs White can dictate play, I think, better than Kulu. Kulu, I really struggle with him because I just don't feel like he ever can grasp a game quite like a 10 can. Like Madders can, for example. Madders can get on the ball deeper, get on the ball further forward, dictate a bit of tempo. I don't think Kulu can. So I think you'll see Kulu back out right wing again. And that's why I think Gibbs White makes a ton of sense. I mean, it's interesting at the moment, really, with the Premier League, of like the teams, or at least the big boys, how Villa have done no business, losing Asensio. Rashford wants Barca. You look at Chelsea, obviously winning the Club World Cup, spending like crazy still. You see City spending like crazy, Liverpool spending like crazy. I mean, Liverpool linked with Sesko now, Arsenal obviously signing Madueke, they signed Zubimendi, they're going to sign Gyökeres. Newcastle signing Alanga. They're looking to sign Ekitike. Like all the big boys are spending. This is the other thing. Like our spending, unfortunately, I say unfortunately for the higher ups, but fortunately for us Spurs fans, the spending that won't be able to stop, because with all those teams higher up spending the money that they're spending and being as active as they are, I think Spurs are having to probably go and get another marquee name after Gibbs White. I'm not saying you should compete with City and things like that. Potential deal for Ekitike, 75 million euros. You see what I mean? And Newcastle don't turn over the money we do and things like that. So I think the money being spent is going to be crazy this summer. I don't see Spurs stopping after this. I don't think they should stop after this. If you are a team who has injury concerns, we'll see what this new medical team does. You need bodies then, and you need quality of those guys to be, of those bodies to be good. I think, I thought Kudus would be the marquee signing, and then you'd sign, some 20, 30, 40 million players maybe. And Gibbs White came along a day after, 60 million, even more expensive. I'm just thinking of that squad, and I'm thinking about what else is needed. Obviously we know about players leaving. Everyone knows players need to leave, and they will. But I think the spending cannot stop. And that's not because I'm greedy, and it's not because I demand more. It's not because I want all the players in the world. I just really do think with the way others are spending, you can't get left behind. I mean, Man United have spent, 6-7 weeks trying to work on the Mbeumo deal. But obviously they signed Cunha. They're looking at Mbeumo. They're looking at a few different names, to be fair, Man United, and they will spend. I know Ratcliffe is deemed tight, but they will spend, Hey, Milton, how are you? Stephen, how are you? Spurs will go one better and finish 16th. Exotic. I think it was all agreed by Nottingham Forest underlings for Gibbs White to go, but then the chairman found out. He went mad. He loves throwing his toys out the pram. Do you see Frank is holding a throw-in audition for players? Who do you think has the best or longest throw-in? I did see that. Why do I think Mickey van der Ven? He can do everything else. I mean, this wouldn't shock me. Yeah, I think Mickey van der Ven probably. Joshua, how are you, mate? New medical team can't be any worse. Literally can't. They literally can't. They were so bad last year. Oh, it's all Ange's fault. Oh, no, lads, it's not. It was more their fault, in my opinion. But regardless, that's in the past. Now we obviously have a situation with a new medical team who, genuinely, I'm not even asking them to be the best in the league. If they're just average, we'd have like half the injuries that we do. So again, that'll feel like new signings. By all things included, Romero staying. That's wonderful news. It's just great news, to be honest. But I think the marquee signings kind of have to keep coming. Obviously, we talk about the 6 and people go, Adam Wharton. Look, Spurs like Adam Wharton, but Spurs aren't spending 80 plus million on Adam Wharton. Prove me wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. But they're not spending 80 plus million because actually, let's be real. I barely see him spending over 65, but they're not spending 80 on him. And I think that's 80 plus. I think it's 80 and there'll be add-ons included. So the deal's going to be worth more. It's not going to happen, but they are looking at midfielders. They're talking Douglas Luiz. And it's like, and I sort of said, for a guy who's done as poorly as he has done in the Serie A, whilst watching Billy Gilmore and Scott McTominay have great seasons, I'm all right, thanks. Not really that interested in Douglas Luiz. I think too many people live in what players used to be like Paulinho. Oh, he's a midfield destroyer. It's like, he's not done very well at Bayern. He's not exactly young. I don't really think he's as great now. I think the ship has sailed. And I think Douglas Luiz, I don't think he's good enough. So that's why Wharton obviously is super exciting. He's a lot younger and things like that. But again, they're not spending that money on him. Prove me wrong. Happy to be proved wrong on that. Happy to be proved wrong. But I can't see it. Spurs did pay 60 million in full, so Spurs do have the cash to spend like top six. Spurs have always had the money for a long time to spend like a top six team. Always have for a long time. Need left back. AJ, you are right. You are right. We do still need left back. We do still need left back, and I do think we will get a left back, and that's why I will stick it into the atmosphere. I'll stick it into the ether of we need to get a left back, but I'm also kind of aware like it's July 14th. Let's not panic. Let's not panic. We will get a left back. Surely I have better Paul than Roma. Go and get Richard Rios and Hayden Hackney. Hackney deal has gone quiet. That's gone quiet, hasn't it? We think we need Edison. That one hurts. That one hurts a little bit. Will we buy a B? I'm personally not a beekeeper, so I don't think we will. But no, I still expect probably, look, I think Gibbs White will get done. Yeah, famous last words on that, obviously. I do think it will get done. And I think, I cannot lie, I keep seeing prices that of Xabi Simons. It's really annoying me. There's like, oh, he's now worth 65 million. I'm like, that's the one. That's the one I want the most. But I don't think we will. I think Bayern might be snooping around. I always thought they would snoop around Simons if it didn't get Wirtz. But on Spurs, I still think they'll go and get a centre midfielder. They'll have to see what outgoings, because we can't just keep buying and not selling anyone. We have to start selling players as well. Basuma's on the chopping block. Richarlison might be on the chopping block. We'll see at centre back. I think there might be some loan moves going on at centre back. We'll see about some of the youngsters as well. Yeah, it's a difficult one, actually, thinking about these players. That's why, Kirkin and Walker Peters made sense, obviously, just the academy train side of things. But obviously, Walker Peters, that looks like he's off to Besiktas. Will we buy a potentially better left back than a doggy? No, we won't get a better left back than a doggy, because I think he's really good. And we're not signing any backup players. We'll sign all rotational players. Destiny Doggy should be a rotational player alongside another left back. Centre back should all be rotational options. Porro and Spence. Like, I don't want to have the idea that people are backups. It just means there's a drop in quality. All rotational options, because they're all great players. That's what we want. Paulinho or Luis for CDM. Which do you think we'll go for? Which one do you want? I personally don't really want either. I guess Paulinho, I think, is the one they might go for. And if Spurs do get left back, how will you celebrate? That's a good question. How would I celebrate? Oh, we'd have to do something, wouldn't we? We'd have to do something. I'll do something. Maybe I'll get a Spurs shirt with the left back's name on the back or something like that. I don't know. We'll do something. Do we bring back Kirkin? I don't know. It makes sense. Like, I know people get annoyed about the Carl Peters and Kirkin thing, but it makes sense due to the academy side of things. It gives you so much more flexibility and freedom. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not seeing any real credible links out there for left backs, which normally means Johan Lang's doing something. But yeah. Yeah, it just makes sense. I really, I wish I had answers. Do you know, that's the thing. I wish I had answers to give all of you because how good would it be? How good would it be to get another left back? Honestly, it'd make my world. Why not Lewis Potter? Why not Lewis Potter? Doesn't solve anything with the academy side of things though. Some fruit squash, surely. Mate, Ty knows that is an everyday thing. I think the delay of Gibbs White coming has deflated everyone a little bit. I think it is because, like, you know, that 48-hour window of like Spurs want Kudus, Spurs agreed deal, medical books, you know, then going straight into Spurs want Gibbs White, direct talks opened, 2 hours later, medical booked. Like, it was a crazy period where everyone was like, what has happened to us? And I'm not going to sit here and say, like, you know, it's ruining my window or anything like that. You know, it's like I said, it's still July 14th. I still think we get Gibbs White. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried that he's returned back to training with Forest today. He's a Forest player. He's paid wages by Forest to be their player, so he should return to training. The only thing is, obviously, you know, look, we got an owner who is in his feelings in Marinakis. We need to be wary of how long he is going to try and draw this out. You know, we'll sort of see. Oh yeah, and yeah, the investment conversation. Yeah, obviously, you know, Spurs getting investment, stadium naming rights. You know, changes in the boardroom potentially. There's a lot of things that have been touted at Spurs and changes at Spurs. I mean, look, is it the case? But I don't know. I don't know. But we'll sort of see. We'll sort of see. The one thing is, obviously, if you want to have a look, Kudus' first day at training, that's up online for you to see if you want to watch him. Uh, it's there. It's there. You make your own opinion. It's about 7 minutes long. It's a good watch. But look, thank you all so much for joining me this evening. Please go and enjoy the rest of your evenings. All right. I may be live at some point in the next couple of days, but I'm traveling for work up north, so might not be, but we shall see. But look, thank you so much for joining me. Absolute legends. Please go and enjoy the rest of your afternoons, mornings, evenings, wherever you are in the world. And we'll back hopefully soon to talk a lot more positive things about Tottenham Hotspur. Take care, everyone. Peace.